say hello to my little friend exactly 2 years later. What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. Today we are going to be taking a look at a blaster that I am a huge fan of. It's a very unique blaster, it's very interesting, and it is very, very cool and fun. The blaster we're going to be taking a look at is the Zuru Xshot Turbofire. Now, the Turbofire is a top prime blaster that takes a 28 round drum, 20 darts over here and 8 darts over here. So the Turbofire, starting off with the ergonomics of the blaster. This grip is absolutely phenomenal. I know I keep saying this about every single grip I get my hands on these blasters, but seriously, every single one of them, including this one, is super duper comfortable. This grip is amazing. I also like all these little details on it. As you can see, it's a very detailed grip, but yet there's nothing really uncomfortable about it whatsoever. Nothing really unnecessary to go over, which is awesome. This grip is amazing. You have this little finger choil down here. This blaster has a top prime. This slide is huge. I have huge hands. And this priming handle is massive. But I absolutely love it though, because you can get a really nice grip on it, and it is also, just like the grip, super duper comfortable. I like all these nice details, these nice little decals and details you have on it. But just like the grip, it doesn't make it uncomfortable or anything necessary. It is wonderful, and I absolutely love it. Plus, you get these little Zuru Xshot stickers on both sides of the blaster. It does not have a stock attachment point or a barrel attachment point. It's a Zuru Xshot blaster. I believe this blaster came out like 2017, 2018. Has a foregrip. Yep, actually has a foregrip. It's pretty small, but it is very, very comfortable. I don't really hold on to it that much, but still, you have something to put your forehand on, and it is really, really nice. This blaster's trigger is also so good. This blaster has a metal spring trigger, and so many metal spring triggers, unlike Nerf usually does nowadays, are really freaking good. It makes the trigger feel so much better, so much more responsive. Metal springs are better than plastic springs. It doesn't matter how many times you do plastic springs and you try to make a better trigger out of them, metal springs are always better. And this blaster definitely shines when it comes to the trigger. You have a little orange side up here. There is supposed to be this weird little pop-up rectangle square side up here, but I got this thing thrifted. It didn't come with it, but honestly, I'm glad it didn't, because I probably wouldn't even use that sight at all. But it's pretty cool. You can aim with it, and if you use pretty good accurate darts, since this thing does have pretty good distance, you can actually use it pretty well. It's not going to help you substantially or anything like that, but it is pretty darn cool. Its design, it looks awesome. There's not a whole lot of paint or anything in here, but all these decals, all these extra details and deco it has on it, it looks really good. This is what companies like Xshot and Dartzone are really good at doing. Not a whole lot of paint or anything, but still finds ways to make the blaster look really, really appealing. And I really like this transparent blue drum. I love the fact that Xshot does this for a lot of their blasters. And by the way, speaking of the drum, this drum is not removable, which sucks. But if you modify it, You can probably get it to remove, but unlike the Xshot Turbo Advance, it doesn't. This blaster has a 20 round drum, yet the Turbo Advance has 40, this has 20, but it also has 8 darts up here in the front row. And what do those 8 darts do? Well, it's basically for dart storage, so you fire all your 20 darts. Yep, it has slam fire, by the way. And then when you're done with those 20 darts, you can take your 8 darts from here and fill them into here and get back into the battle. That's not a whole lot of darts, not a whole lot to completely fill the whole thing up. It's just 8 compared to 20, but that is better than nothing. This blaster has a tactical rail on top of here. I don't know if it's real or fake or any of that. I'm just going to say fake rail, but it does look really cool nonetheless. I wouldn't really count this as stock. It's like this just kind of weird thing. It does look pretty cool, and I don't mind it whatsoever. I like its inclusion. You have this kind of thumb hold stock. It's not really cramping or anything, or really uncomfortable. Not really a whole lot to note there. How does this blaster work? Well, you just load up how many darts you want to. Rotate it to its position, and this blaster shoots, it rotates to the left, so keep in mind, you prime it, and you fire. And it's also got slam. How is the plastic quality? Not really a whole lot of creaking whatsoever. The plastic feels pretty darn good actually. Xshot plastic, it doesn't really feel nearly as good as Nerf plastic, but this one, it's pretty darn good. That is the external features of the Zuru Xshot Turbofire. It's pretty darn awesome so far. So let's take it out to the range and see how hard this thing hits and see how good the slam fire is. Whew boy, that slam fire, I have something to say about that later. Alright everybody, so we are out here with the Xshot Turbofire. This blaster is absolutely awesome so far. We are actually going to be using Busby long distance darts. What are Busby long distance darts? These darts, well, they're the same color as darts on waffle darts, but they're mostly kind of like elite darts when it comes to accuracy. You can tell these are different by their nipple head style tip, so they have really good distance, but their accuracy leaves a lot to be desired. We are going to be doing 28 Busby long distance darts and then 28 waffles, 14 flat and 14 angled. So let's go. And then we're going to be doing some slam fire. Flat shots. By the way, this dirt on the blaster, this is from the price tag. I got this thing over 2 years ago, and that dirt, can't really rip it off from that tag. That's really good. That is really, really good. Pretty impressive. But now, we're going to do 14 more. Let's give it an angle. About as good as it can get. I think that just hit the pole and fell. Final shot. And I think that just hit the wall. That was awesome. The accuracy, not really good, but they're supposed to be long distance darts. That distance and velocity is really, really good from this thing. And now, we are going to be doing 28 Adventure Force waffle darts, 14 flat, 14 angled. And fun fact, 28 is one of my favorite numbers of all time. It's one of my lucky numbers. So, shout outs to you, 28 flat shots. Much better accuracy. Much better accuracy, still amazing distance. Final shot. That is awesome. It definitely doesn't have the highest capacity ever or the greatest range ever. This thing is so much fun. And now we are gonna be doing some good old slam fire. This is the part I've been waiting for because personally, slam fire is awesome on the blaster. You hold down the trigger, it just rattle off shots. Now me personally, I don't really use slam fire all that much, but this blaster is absolutely 100% my favorite Nerf blaster is slam fire. Oh my goodness. This thing is so much fun to slam fire. Every time a dart fires makes just a boom. Just a huge thud sound, and it is so much fun. You can feel the power. You can feel it when you slam fire. Yeah. So, let's slam fire this bad boy. Gosh, let's go. My goodness, that is so much fun. So overall, what do I think of the Zuru Xshot Turbofire? Is this blaster for everybody? No, not everybody is gonna like this design. It's kind of interesting. There's not really a whole lot of designs out there that kind of look like this. There is a lot of other drum-fed foam dart blasters that, you know, have a lot more capacity, or pump action, or just have a better form factor than this. But this is a very unique blaster. I like how more unique this is than any others. I'm not saying this is the only blaster that's kind of out like this, but it is pretty darn unique. It's very fun to use, and I absolutely love it. Would I recommend this blaster for a competitive Nerfer? It depends. If the capacity is pretty good for you, if the velocity is good, if you like the top prime, I can definitely see this being a pretty good room clearer. The capacity is pretty good. You have 8 darts. You can just scavenge, pick them up, reload them, get back into the fight. For a plinker, yeah, this blaster is super fun to use, and the slam fire, it is awesome. If you don't like drums, or if you like magazines, or you just want a higher capacity or pump action, or just completely different form factor, a completely different blaster with a different form factor, don't pick this up. But me personally, I really like this blaster, and I've had a lot of fun using it so far. So yeah, that is the Xshot Turbofire. Thank you very much for watching this review. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all have an amazing day. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everybody. Thank you, Layla. Say hello to my little friend. What's up, y'all? Tesla's Nerf Room just made a review a couple hours ago of the Xshot Crusher, and while he did that, that was a super awesome review. Today, I'm gonna be taking a look at the Xshot Turbofire. This blaster is a lot older than the Crusher, and to be honest, this is kind of the same as the Crusher. While it doesn't have a chain and the top prime is a little bit different than the Crusher, bigger doesn't always mean better, because this is smaller than the Turbo Advance, but honestly, it's a lot better, and I feel like this is still a competent blaster today, even though it does not hold as much capacity as the Villainator, Tomahawk 60, Alpha 72, Turbo Advance, and some other drum blasters, but it definitely is fun. Let's get to the ergonomics. The grip looks great, very comfortable. You got a top prime, obviously, instead of a pump action, and the top prime is very smooth because it rotates the cylinder in the back of the prime, and then it's auto retracting, which is very awesome. It also looks really good. It looks a lot more bizarre than the Turbo Advance. A really cool, neat thing that I noticed about this is this has like the pump grip design as the Turbo Advance, but it's not actually the prime the blaster. It's just a very cool aesthetic, and I like it. It's a very comfortable foregrip that works. And unlike the Turbo Advance, and something that the Crusher has is, it has slam fire. More points added to the score. This thing is very good. The drum is non-removable, unlike the Turbo Advance if you try, but this drum is obviously smaller than the Turbo Advance. It holds 20 darts, and you might notice there is another row here, but it's not for the firing. It is to hold 8 darts, 8 more darts for storage. So it's kind of like that weird thing with the Ultra 1 where it's kind of useless, but then again it kind of works, and it's a lot better dart storage. You can just load it from here and done. You don't have to worry about dealing with loading from the back, going all the way front, and then boom. So there was a little sight that was on here, but that's been broken because I got this thrifted for $2. Oh yeah, and this was also along with the Sentinel, the Elite 2.0 Commander, and the Knockout, which I already reviewed. Elite 2.0 Commander is coming very soon. It's very good. This is technically a stock, but kind of not, because you're going to be using the prime. So really like this blaster. The aesthetics are great. It looks cool. It's very comfortable, and unlike the Turbo Advance, the cylinder is rotating freely, but when you prime it, it's locked. But that's alright. But this thing is really nice, and you also got stickers like the Xshot Crusher and a lot of other Xshot blasters, which I like. I'm keeping this on because it looks absolutely awesome. Right? Anyway, everybody, that is the external overview of the blaster, how it functions, how it works, you prime it, fire, it's got fire. Let's get to the firing. Alrighty, everybody, we have the Turbofire and we have the range. So let's see how far this is. We're going to be doing 5 flat shots and then 5 angle. Pretty solid. These are usually between 80 FPS, so that's not bad at all. And now for some angled shots. We're not gonna do them too high though. No way that just hit the shed. Dang it, that hit the tree. Alright, that is definitely usable. I am a big fan of this thing. Slam fire shots, so let's go. And a lot of times when I slam fire super hard, the darts will actually go further than like just doing regular fire, which is very interesting. But I'm sitting down, so sorry it was
So my
shaky.
overall conclusions. Would I recommend you pick up the Xshot Turbo Advance? Yes, I think this is a very solid, fun blaster. It does not hold as much capacity as some of the others. It's less expensive, and even it's still competitive to this day, because if you can get it thrifted at Goodwill and you don't have a Villainator, it's still a nice blaster that hits hard, hits really good velocities, and this is one of those slam fire blasters that it's so satisfying. Like, you really feel a big oomph when slam fire. Sometimes it'll lock up on me, but that's really the problem. It is super fun. When I mean bigger is not always better. You could find gigantic fun blasters that are really good, sure. But not every big blaster is good. Sometimes you'll come across some blasters that are very mediocre and occasionally bad, like the Ultra 1. But the Turbofire is one of those Xshot blasters that not a whole lot of people talk about, and I feel like it's very good for what it is. So if you find this at Goodwill, pick it up. It's a very good price, and I highly recommend you use this, especially when slam firing. Like, you're really gonna enjoy slam firing this thing, and that's one of the pros. Now, there are some cons with this thing though, which I should actually mention in most of my reviews. I should pull up some cons, because I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record just gushing all the time. But this is not a stock. It's small, and it might seem like one, but you can't really shoulder it. You do have the foregrip, and another con is you cannot remove the drum. It would be super cool if Xshot could make a version which you can actually remove these drums, because these are very small drums, smaller than the Villainator. So if you can get a bunch of these, that would be awesome. Very compact, and you can rattle a bunch of shots while slam firing, and these break less often than the Villainator. But I definitely recommend you pick up the Turbofire, and I'm very happy to have this in my collection. So thank you all very much for watching. If you like what I do, please hit like and subscribe to help the algorithm. I'm so tired of the algorithm just being terrible. But thank you all very much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. As always, peace out, everybody.